Hey guys, LeBaron98 here, and as promised, I'm going to show you my Godzilla Blu-ray collection. But before I do that, I thought, since this video would be extremely short, since I only have a few Godzilla films in my collection, I thought I would show other giant monster movies along with Godzilla, either within the same vein of Godzilla or so on. These first three, however, I wouldn't classify them as Kaiju because they're not, but there's at least one giant monster in it, and it's a T-Rex. Of course, I'm talking about Jurassic Park. This is the 3D Blu-ray edition, and what can you really say about it? I mean, it's a classic. It was really the first film that used CG throughout a good portion of the film. But I think what sets Jurassic Park apart from other films, including films today, is they did a good job of using CG in conjunction with animatronics, where a lot of the films today, and I'm talking about even newer ones like The Hobbit, is they rely entirely on CG, and at some point, as well as CG is done today, there's still some aspects of it that is not perfect. And I felt with Jurassic Park, a lot of the close-ups of the T-Rex, which were animatronic, gave it a more real look to it, so that when the CG takes over, when the T-Rex is running or whatever, you don't really notice it as much. And I think that's what makes all of these films great. The next one up is The Lost World Jurassic Park. It's not as good as the first one. I think everyone can admit to that. It's not everyone's favorite, but I thought it had a decent enough action when it comes to dinosaurs. I thought the special effects were really well done. It has Jeff Goldblum returning in this film, which I always liked with sequels. At least have someone return, and at the same time, they didn't try to replace anybody. They didn't try to, replace Laura Dern or Sam Neill. They just had new characters, and I like that when they do that with films. The main issue with this one, I thought, were just a few facepalm-worthy moments. Specifically, Jeff Goldblum's daughter in this one, where she's uses her gymnastics skill to kill a raptor, which I just thought it was plain stupid. And but it somewhat redeems itself with the T-Rex rampage in San Francisco, which is funny enough where the new Godzilla film takes place. So overall, I thought it was a decent enough film. Not as bad as some people would like to say it is, but at the same time, it's nowhere near the classic of the original. Which, to be honest, I mean, most sequels are like that. Very few are ever best the original. Next up, we have Jurassic Park 3, and before I get into the film, you'll notice a little something different with this one. If you look at the logo, you'll see that it's not actually the Spinosaurus. It's actually the T-Rex. I don't know why they changed it, but it is something I noticed. Not a deal breaker. I mean, it's still a beautiful looking slipcover and everything, but yeah, I just noticed that when grabbing it off the shelf. And again, the special effects are really well done in this. It has Sam Neill as Alan Grant in this one, so again, they kind of continue at least with one character from the original, which I like. My main issue with this isn't the special effects, which I said that they're pretty well done, if not great, or the acting, which is adequate. I mean, there's some lesser moments in there, but my main issue with Jurassic Park 3 is it drags you from one set piece to the next. It doesn't really give you time to sit back with the characters, have some character development. It's just too quick. Bang, we're on to the next set piece, and I think that's the main issue. And it really felt rushed, and especially near the end, the whole ending. I won't give it away if you haven't seen it already, but it just felt so rushed, and I think that's the main issue I have with Jurassic Park 3. So next up, we have something that's actually a giant monster. We have my only DVD here, by the way, Cloverfield. This is the found footage. A lot of people don't like that aspect of it. Personally, I don't get motion sickness from shaky cam. Some people do, and I understand that. It's a valid complaint, but I don't get motion sickness. And overall, I thought it was a decent film. Not amazing, but overall decent. I really liked the whole human aspect of it. How they didn't really focus on the monster necessarily, but rather the human characters this whole journey of these friends kind of going through New York and trying to, to evacuate. I like that. I thought that was pretty well done. Again, I mean, special effects I thought were decent, again, for a found footage type film. And overall, I would love to see a sequel. But who knows what's happening with that. Next up, we have one here that is going to probably be compared to the new Godzilla, since this came out recently in 2013. We're talking about Pacific Rim. Now, I never seen this in 3D, so I can't really comment on that. But as far as the film is concerned, watching it from home, it's all right. Like, I don't hate the film. Obviously, I own it, and I don't plan to get rid of it anytime soon. It's a gorgeous looking film. It's amazing looking. Like, it's probably one of the best demo discs apart from Avatar to have. It freaking rocks sound system, and it looks gorgeous on your HD TV. But and I gotta say, like, the action sequences are really well done. But and plus you can tell, like, there's a really lot of detail put into it. But my main issue, and I'm getting to that, is it's much of the same. Like, there's the whole humans in this they're just boring. Like, there's nothing to it. Like, I don't know. At the end of the day, it's just monsters and robots, and you might like that. I mean, it depends on what kind of film, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. What kind of film you like. I thought it just became boring after a while. Oh, here's another battle. Oh, we get some boring ass friggin' human characters again that we don't give a shit about. Here's another boring ass battle. I mean, it's just the same thing over and over. And I think the biggest reason that I hate this is that there was very little build up. The movie basically starts and you're already introduced to the big monsters. Where I thought, especially by the trailer, I thought that they would at least have some type of build up leading to the first attack. And I think if they would have done that, we would have had more caring for the characters. But nevertheless, I mean, it's still a worthy addition to a Blu-ray collection. It's a gorgeous looking film, and it's still a decent monster romp. I mean, it's not horrible by any means. I just didn't think it was the be all end all that a lot of people try to make it out to be. Another franchise I never really got into, mainly because I didn't really understand it that much, was Gamera. Now, this is the newer trilogy. This is the Heisei trilogy. Now, the first 8 films, I think there was 8, were geared more towards children. It was actually more geared towards children than even the childish Godzilla films, like Son of Godzilla, for instance. And I think that's what probably put me off from those. But I heard good things about this one. I actually watched James Rolfe's Gamera reviews or so on during his Monster Madness, and I thought I would give this a try, and I'm glad I did. It's $15. You get 3 films. You get the films here: Gamera, Guardian of the Universe, Attack of the Legion, and Revenge of Iris. And all 3 films are very well done. I enjoyed all of them. And another thing, I thought I was kind of, how do I say that? Like, I like giant monster movies. I can suspend my belief to a certain extent, at least to the extent that, okay, there's giant monsters, But the main issue I have with Gamera, again, completely unaware of what Gamera really was. In this one, they explain how he's kind of like a half, he's organic but also mechanical. And I think that's kind of what sold me on the whole, him being able to fly and so on. It didn't bother me as much as it probably could have. But overall, I really enjoy it, and all 3 are great transfers on here. And I'll look real quick here. I'll show you if you're not aware of these. So you have the first 2 films on the first disc, and then you have the 3rd film entirely on its own disc, and it also has the extra features from all 3, I believe. So, yeah, I haven't watched the extra features yet. I will watch them at some point, because I really enjoyed this. I thought it was really well done. I want to get the newest one. I believe it's the Millennium series. I think it's called Gamera the Brave, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully it's as decent as that. All right, so another one, maybe not kaiju, maybe not massive, but he's King Kong. And this is the original 1933 King Kong, and it is a classic, all sense of the word. I believe I showed you this one before. This is the digibook, and you have some nice photos. Can't speak today. Nice photos inside here, and beautiful book actually, and so on. I'm not gonna go through it all. I believe I did it already, but yeah, great film, stop motion, and I thought the stop motion in this one, when done well, stop motion can really add a sense of character, and they did so with King Kong in this one. And yeah, I mean, it's an achievement for the time, and while maybe the special effects don't hold up today, I still enjoy watching it. And you got to realize, I mean, I'm 29, I'm going to be 30 in June, and I could still enjoy this one. Just because it's made from the 30s and black and white stop motion doesn't mean that you can't enjoy a film. And I really do enjoy this one. So since we're talking about King Kong, might as well talk about the remake. This is the Peter Jackson remake. There was also one in the 70s I like to get. I believe it has Jeff Bridges in it. But this one, Peter Jackson's King Kong. And the main complaint I think a lot of people have with this one, I mean, it's pretty faithful overall, but the main complaint is that it builds up too much at the start. It's your typical Peter Jackson film. So if you don't like his extreme build-ups to things, let's face it, this guy loves making 3-hour films. And personally, I didn't mind that. And the reason I didn't mind that is because I liked the world that this is set in. I liked how, they went through like the 30s and so on, and you got to see a bit of that. I enjoyed the build-up overall. And then once you get to King Kong, I thought that, the action sequences, especially with the two T-Rexes or whatever, I thought that was cool. Another thing, they have the extended edition on this one. There's some extra scenes in it with different monsters and things like that. And yeah, I mean, overall, pretty cool. I mean, what can you say? I do recommend picking this up. You can find it cheap now for under $10, and it's a decent, decent enough film to own, I think. All right, so we're getting there. We have 4 more films to go. It's kind of out of sequence, but I'm going to show you this one first. It's King Kong Escapes, and it is a sequel to another one I will get to later. And this is by Toho, so they use giant, or rather they use people in suits as opposed to stop motion, which is, obviously cheaper way of doing things. And I thought it was decent. Like, it's a bit hokey, yes, but sometimes it's nice to have that hokiness, not take things too seriously. It has Mecha Kong in this one, as you can see right there. Obviously a take of Mecha Godzilla that you would see in, Godzilla films around the time. And, not too bad. I mean, could it be better? Sure. Is it hokey? Of course. But I still enjoyed it. I think it's better than a lot of the Godzilla films, like, the more childish ones, like Son of Godzilla and so on, that I would actually watch this multiple times over versus those. Overall, not too bad. And of course, I got that one. By the way, I got that one at HMV. I think I paid more than I saw it for at Best Buy recently, which was, I think, $14. I actually paid $20, but I still wanted to have it. Of course, the one that started that one, and what we're kind of leading it to, King Kong versus Godzilla. And it is pretty awesome overall. I like the battle between the two. Of course, when I originally heard of Godzilla versus King Kong, when I think King Kong, I think of like either the Peter Jackson King Kong or the 1933 King Kong. And while he's big, he's not Godzilla big, So when I first heard about it, I'm like, how are they going to pull that off? Well, they did, because they made him, basically the same size as Godzilla. Now, I mean, sure, there's some things here, like, how could how could King Kong even fight Godzilla? Considering that King Kong is really an animal versus Godzilla, who's more than an animal, really. But they did a good job, and again, hokey, yes, but it's a good little monster mashup, and overall I really enjoy it. And I do recommend, if you're a fan of Godzilla, you probably already own this, and if you don't, definitely check it out. It's a pretty good little monster romp. All right, so we're down to our last two films, and these, of course, are Godzilla films. One is a classic, the other one not so much. So I guess I'll go with the not so much one first. It's Godzilla, Roland Emmerich's Godzilla. It's really not Godzilla. That's what you can really say about it. But with that being said, I have to admit, I do enjoy the film. I take it more as a film not about Godzilla, but just a giant monster roaming the streets of New York City, and that's what it really is. I think, the biggest backlash this gets is the fact that it has the title Godzilla. And if it didn't have that, I think it would be a bit more. People would be a bit more forgiving. But I gotta be honest, like, the special effects at the time were really well done, and I enjoy some of the comedy in it. I really enjoy Jean Reno as the French guy in this one, and actually he steals the scene. He steals the scene every time he's on it, and I mean, again, it's not Godzilla, the true Godzilla, but I still enjoy the film enough, at least to give it maybe like a 3 out of 5. And bargain bin, throw it in the Blu-ray collection kind of thing. I still enjoy it though. But to kind of wash the taste out of your mouth, the bad taste, we have to get the original classic. And what better way to do it than get a Criterion release? This is, of course, Godzilla, or Gojira, as it's originally known as. Again, like I said, it's a Criterion release, as you can see, kind of right there, I guess. And it's a pretty awesome edition. As a Criterion release, I mean, there's not a ton of extras to it, but they did include one thing I really liked, which was Godzilla King of the Monsters, which was the American release of this film, where they had Raymond Burr? Is that what his name is? Yeah, so it is Raymond Burr, and both versions are well done. For the time or whatever, but I really prefer the original Japanese cut of the film. It has a more of a dark, somber type feel to it, and it's probably, as a result, a better film overall. There's really some, kind of dark scenes in that one. I mean, everyone talks about, the mother with the 2 kids and so on, and there's a lot of death and destruction in this one. Whereas the Raymond Burr edition, while it's still somber in its own right, I feel that his narration kind of eases that a little bit throughout. But yeah, great edition overall. The main issue I have with this Criterion, unlike a lot of Criterions, is that the extra features, like I said, they're not as plenty, but they're still enough to be had here. I guess I could take a little quick look, since I haven't actually shown you this one, since I haven't done an update on it. So I'm just going to take this out here. So basically you have kind of like this digipack look to it here. So we have Godzilla on there. You have it open up like this, and ta-da, there he is. It's Godzilla. And I thought that was pretty cool, actually. And if you take out the disc here, you can kind of see it continues on. The whole scene kind of continues on there, where he's at the bridge. Really cool looking, I gotta admit. And yeah, it also comes with a book, as I put this down here, a little booklet, nice, done in black and white, as you can see here, very comic booky actually. And so you have some kind of cast information and things like that. And maybe I'll see if I can find some more, and some information like this here, like the backstory, how it came to be Godzilla, and so on and so forth. And yeah, I really enjoy this film. One of the extras, or actually I guess you consider 2 of the extras I liked, were the commentaries on this one. I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head here. David Collat, and apparently he's a big Godzilla fan. He's a historian that is really into Godzilla, and he knows his Godzilla. And I thought Both commentaries were really well done in this one. And I heard that there's another edition of this that wasn't Criterion. It was called Gojira, and I think it was done by Classic Media. I do remember seeing the DVDs at some point, and they also have it on Blu-ray. I hear the transfer isn't as good, which, by the way, amazing transfer on this one. I don't think you can have it any better, to be honest with you. But with the Gojira release, it actually has 2 more commentaries, which are really well done, as well as a few new extras and things like that. So maybe I'll pick that up. Even if I find it on DVD, I think I'll still pick it up and just simply throw it in here to have like the ultimate edition of Godzilla. But yeah, that's basically it. So we have a whole slew of giant monster movies there. I do want to add some more, and including some more Godzilla. They did release a bunch on May 6th that I'd like to get my hands on. Just, gotta be careful with the money at the moment, but because with the amount of Godzilla, I think there's like at least over 20 films of Godzilla. So if I want to be a completionist or completist, I'd have to have lots of money to do so. But yeah, so there we go. So up next, we're going to do a Godzilla review. I did see it in IMAX last night, actually, and yeah. So I'll do that in another video. I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you guys for watching, and take care, guys. See ya. Bye.